Hi, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is when you're watching this. It's morning for me. Gonna be doing something different, totally different. Gonna be doing an in-town scene. And because it's in town, you're gonna hear a lot of noise because there's this nice scene I want to paint, but of course, we just happen to be doing construction on the house next door. So hopefully you'll be able to hear me okay. Also, we're contending with a lot of wind today. And to make it even more interesting, the sun keeps going in and out, which is one of the reasons why I chose the spot I did, because it's pretty much completely backlit. So it's going to be the least affected by the sun moving in and out. Colors on my palette, we have titanium white, cadmium lemon, cadmium orange, yellow ochre, transparent red oxide, which is starting to slide, Venetian red, alizarin crimson, ultramarine blue, cobalt blue, cerulean blue, and viridian. Also, I have my camera tripod spread way out so that the wind is much less likely to take the tripod down with my camera on top of it and have it tumbling on the sidewalk and probably destroy it. And that'd be at least $500-600 out. It's precisely for these reasons I have Patreon. I show the first 20 minutes of the video to the YouTube public, and then the rest is reserved for my Patreon members because it's their support that keeps me going. So that if I do things like break my $500 camera in the wind, record these videos, I can afford another one. So if you want to become a Patreon supporter, that'd be awesome. Click on the link below. If not, that's cool too. I hope you enjoyed the video either way. If you can at least maybe give me a thumbs up, keep the algorithms happy, that'd be awesome. But of course, that's up to you. So I'm going to do this intimate scene. I really like this kind of fence going on here in these windows and that. So I'm kind of blocking an approximate. There's this old iron gate here. Gotta try to make sure keep my paper towels out of the way. I do these videos, I have to paint at an angle off to the side, and I'm right-handed, so I have to kind of reach back over across. Yeah, it's easy for me to end up having my paper towels kind of get in the way. So if that happens, I apologize. I'll try to remember to move them. So working in approximate tones right now. I'm going to squint at this scene and just try to average out my overall lights and darks. Overall, this is a low-key scene. And I have to decide which side of the house I want to show. Which side of the scene I want. Maybe I'll go over here. Actually, before I do those details, let's tone this first. I have not painted in town in a long time, so I don't know what kind of reaction I'll get. I'm standing on the sidewalk. If I get any curious onlookers or people just disregard me. Probably here there's a lot of traffic. Which is to be expected when you're in town. So there's this porch here, and as we move up, we get darker. It's kind of an ambiguous tone when it moves up into the dark part of the porch. And I will admit, I used to paint scenes like this a lot more often. It's been a long time. Because this is not something that fits in well with my historical Native American subject matter that I typically paint nowadays. But I did have a few of my Patreon supporters say they'd like to see more architecture and things like that, so here you go. So we'll see how this turns out. Who knows, maybe it'll be a disaster. But there is something nice too about going back and revisiting a subject that you might not have done for quite a while. And one that you're that was loud. Some kid decided to show us how his muffler isn't that good. But anyway, saying sometimes it's good to go back and paint something that you haven't painted in a while. And a lot of times you might paint with more abandon if you're kind of fresh at it and you don't care as much. And it's not that I don't care how this painting turns out, but because it's not part of my typical repertoire, if it doesn't turn out, I'm not going to be too upset about it. So back in here, this is going back in the distance. Right now, there's some very warm yellows. It's illuminated by sunlight, but I'm anticipating that is going to change. There's a lot of clouds moving in, and so I do not think that will be around for very long. So I'm just going to put some cools back in there, some ambiguous cools to just suggest something further back. And then toward the end, to depend on what the light does, I can make changes to it. A lot of wind picking up here. Wind is the thing that probably terrifies me the most when I'm out painting as far as natural conditions are. Especially when I'm recording, because I got to try to keep my camera up as well as my easel. And wind will probably cause me more stress than anything else. With the exception of maybe grizzly bears or something like that. Dropping brushes. This is a badger hair brush. I have some, this is rougher canvas. I kind of wish I had smoother canvas for a scene like this. But I'm kind of out of the smooth stuff. So I'm going to make do with the rough canvas here. It's not rough, it's actually medium weave, but it's still... I'm used to doing scenes like this with smooth canvas. Okay, just still adjusting the tone here. Since this scene is illuminated mostly by cool light, I'm treating the shadows as warm. Got an overall mapping of things. Now, clean off my palette. Wind's died down a bit, thank goodness, but I fully expect some more gusts to come in later. And I'm going to block in some of the even darker accents and shapes. Now when you're doing architecture like this, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be a documentary. In other words, you don't have to paint it exactly how it is, unless you're being commissioned by somebody and they know exactly what their house looks like. So I don't get too hung up on painting every single window, every single, thing on there in the exact spot of where it is. Comes right about up to here. This is one of the shutters. It's very dark. It's almost colorless up here. The thing about these old houses, they have these really long, narrow windows and shutters. And to me, that just looks very, very pleasing, very charming to the eye. Now I know the value of these is not spot on. I think it's close enough for now. Actually, I forgot how narrow this house is. I didn't realize how narrow it is. There goes a leaf. Okay, so a little architectural correction here. That comes out right about there like that. So my house is basically cut off right at the end there. I think it's gonna look weird if I have the other end of the house cut off exactly how it is. So I'm just gonna pretend it keeps going. Somebody might call that cheating. I call it artistic license. So I'm going to pretend there's like another shutter there. And we're going to do it like that. So this is just mapping out the basic architecture, which is kind of mapping out the composition. Put in just a little bit of green. Just give me an idea where things are going. Okay, I think I'm going to stop there and show the rest to the to my Patreon subscribers. If you want to see me finish this, click on the link below the Patreon, $5 a month. You can watch me finish this painting commercial free and see a lot of other videos on there that I do not show to the YouTube public. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions below, and we'll see you again.